What is going on, everybody? How is everybody doing today? So, a couple hours ago, I reacted to Colin Cowherd's NBA playoff bracket predictions. Today, we're going to be reacting to Nick Wright and Chris Broussard's of First Things First. So, I'll reiterate what I said in the Colin Cowherd one. Yes, there's a little bit of hindsight here. I do want to apologize. I was away from Sunday to Wednesday, and I didn't have the time to react to these, so I'm going to be reacting to these a little bit late because the playoffs have already started. So, I know it's a little weird because we do have hindsight here, so I won't, hate on them or anything because we know more than what they did when they made these. But yeah, we'll see how close they are to mine, because Colin Cowherd literally had one different series in his bracket in mine. So we'll see if any of them are closer to mine or if they had any other things. So yeah, let's get into this.
Officially tipping off tonight. Why not end the show with our very own Nick Wright making his playoff predictions? All right, Nick, no
I guess it's Nick Wright, not Chris Broussard reacting. The title kind of threw me off.
pressure, but the entire world is probably watching right now. Let's start with the Eastern bracket. Who you got there?
All right, so listen, I'll be quick here.
He throws everything out. So we'll talk about this now and then we'll go over it. Okay, so he has Milwaukee in 4 over Orlando. I also did, and we were both wrong after day 1, which is funny. Or day 2, technically. Miami over Indy in 6. I believe I had that as well. He had Boston over Philly in 7. I had Boston over Philly in 6, but agreed so far. And he had the Raptors over the Nets in 6. What? I don't remember if I had 5 or 4, but I didn't really think the Nets would get 2 wins off them. He had Boston over Raptors in 7. I had Raptors over Boston in 7. He had, I believe I had Milwaukee over Miami in 6 as well. And then he has Milwaukee over Boston in 5. I believe I had Milwaukee over Boston in 6. So we have a little difference there. Some of the games, because now I could see how many games he predicted them in, because Colin Cowherd did not put that. The only series disagreement I have is I had Toronto over Boston. He has Boston over Toronto. So let's hear what he's got to say about them.
Hey, obviously, the Bucks are going to win in the first round. I think most people have the Heat also winning in the first round. Indiana's banged up. I think the Sixers, I think Embiid's going to be good enough to give the Celtics a series, but I think they advance. And the Raptors, it's not a slight on them. I have it going 6. It's just I've been so impressed by what the Nets have done under Jacques Vaughn. I think they're going to be ready for a fight. I do think, Broussard, the Bucks can get past Bam Adebayo's defense and the Miami Heat. And for the Celtics, I think they can make the conference finals, as they did a couple years ago. I think Tatum will play well this postseason, having learned from some of his missteps last year. But I do not think the Celtics can handle the Bucks. I think actually the Bucks will be able to beat the Celtics rather handily in 5 in the conference finals. But I think probably the biggest surprise there is having the Celtics beat the Raptors. Your take on that, Broussard?
Well, look, I think the Bucks, the Celtics, and the Raptors are all very close as far as their ability. So I'm not totally mad at you, but believe it or not, Nick, I've got the Raptors in the East. I thought long and hard about this.
Oh,
wow.
Definitely possible. 100% possible the Raptors can win the Eastern Conference. It's no cakewalk for Milwaukee. 100%.
I like it.
The bubble, they were struggling, toward the end of the shutdown, and they struggled mightily in the bubble. I think if you pack in the paint and you force Giannis to shoot jump shots, now somebody else has to beat you at the end of games. Who's doing it? Chris Middleton, Kyle Korver, Brook Lopez, Eric Bledsoe? I'm not sure. So I got the Raptors. Boston scares me for Toronto, so that's not a terrible pick, them over the Raptors in 7. But I got the Raptors with their toughness getting out of the East, and I tell you what, a Kawhi Raptors final, delicious.
That'd be entertaining.
Wow.
oh yeah.
Go ahead, Wiles, jump in.
Remember you broke out delicious last week.
I like that word, right?
I want to move on to
I'm making it a thing.
delicious. You're just gonna call all these matchups delicious. Jenna, I'm fine. I'm fine with this. I'm really, what I'm fired up about. The next one. Go ahead, Nick. Run the next one here. I hope Dame is not up early to watch.
Whoa! Whoa! All right. So before he talks into this, he's got Lakers in 5 over Portland. I had Lakers in 6, and they're down 1-0 right now. He's got Rockets in 7 over Thunder. Exactly what I had. He has Nuggets in 5 over Jazz. I had Nuggets in 6 over Jazz, so 1 game off there. That is currently 1-1. And then he has Clippers over Mavs in 6. So did I. Exact ones. And I'm going off what I made on my main channel video on Monday morning. I did my whole play of predictions if you want to go check that out. Six Rings of Steel is the channel name. And then he has Lakers over Rockets in 7. I believe I had Lakers over Rockets in 6, so I still agree with that top half. But here is the one is very shocking. He's got the Nuggets over the Clippers in 6. That is a bold prediction. I think personally, I would have said this before. I believe Clippers over Nuggets in 5. I might have had him in 6, but he has this in 6, not even in 7. I did think before, and even now, that Dallas has a better chance of beating LA than Denver would in round 2. I do think Denver's still going to beat Utah, even though it's 1-1, and it's not looking great for Denver because, I mean, Utah's missing their probably 3rd and 4th best players. Maybe you would say that if Conley is their 4th best player. Or they're missing their, and then, I don't know. Either way, I wouldn't think Denver could beat LA in 6. I just don't think so. I think Dallas has a better chance at beating LA. So that is very shocking. And then he has LA beating Denver in 6. Wow. Okay. So, yeah, I disagree with that. But, hey, it's a prediction. You can go into any sport brackets. They're not going to be perfect. Or they're not going to be predictable. A lot of people thought the Dodgers were going to win the NL, the National League, last year, but the Nats ended up beating them in round 2. Nobody predicted that, or the very few people did. So anything can happen. So I'm not going to hate on them too much because we still don't know what's going to happen, but very interesting. Very interesting.
Western Conference.
Because you're going to end up on the next EP
Here we
releases.
go. Listen, that's fine. That's fine. Don't worry about it. Let's just get to the main event here. Obviously, the Lakers are going to beat the Blazers. I've got it in 5. I've got the Rockets in a very tough series against OKC in 7. And then on that side of the bracket, I think the Rockets-Lakers be a great series because Russ will be back, but I got Lakers in 7. Bottom side of the bracket, I told you a month ago, Broussard, that I think Dallas could play the Clippers to 6. I'll stick with that. The Jazz are banged up. They're going to get annihilated in the first round, I would imagine, especially with Conley leaving the bubble for the birth of his child. And then, what I'm sure you're going to want to talk about, just the absolute sacrilege that I would dare have the Denver Nuggets beat the Los Angeles Clippers. The unbeatable Clippers, who we don't know if Montrezl Harrell's in any type of shape. You've got, by the way, Broussard with a little kind of takes working against each other. Kawhi is so great. How can you ever pick against Kawhi? By the way, the team Kawhi left, they're making the finals. So wait, did he carry them the whole time, or were they awesome? So did he get too much credit? I'm confused. But regardless, the emergence of Michael Porter Jr., no one on the Clippers to deal with Nikola Jokic, the Nuggets getting Jamal Murray back.
Yes, good point. Good point. I don't know who would guard Nikola Jokic, but who's guarding Kawhi Leonard? Michael Porter Jr.? Will Barton's out. Torrey Craig? Gary Harris is currently hurt. I don't know when he's coming back personally. He might come back for round 2. Maybe Paul Millsap is guarding Kawhi Leonard. Maybe. Jeremy Grant. Okay. But it's hard to guard Kawhi Leonard. And then once you get that, who's guarding Paul George? And then who's guarding Marcus Morris? And then who's guarding Lou Will? I don't know. I just think you can use your points against him there. Let's see what he still has. He's still got to finish his point.
All those reasons. That's why, unfortunately, as much as we would all love to see it, I don't think we're going to get the battle for Los Angeles because I think the Nuggets are going to step in the way, Broussard.
Worst bracket I've seen in decades. Decades, I tell you. I mean, are you serious?
Decades.
First of all, your beloved Rockets are going out in the first round if Russ misses more than one game. If he misses more than one game, they won't get to the second. They won't live to see 2 weeks from now. Let's go to Denver. You talk about the Clippers' lack of chemistry. Guys haven't been there, and I give you that. But guess who has even more, commotion going on with their roster? The Nuggets. I mean, is Michael Porter Jr. going to be able to adjust to being maybe the 4th option if Will Barton and Gary Harris come back and play at some point? And
That's one of them
I
good
think
problems.
Porter Jr. is great. They got so much depth. It's a good problem, but these are young guys. Some of them don't know their roles. Everything is in flux. They will lose.
So the argument against the Nuggets is they might get healthier? The argument against the Nuggets is they might get more good players back?
Healthy or not, they're losing. They're not as good as the Clippers. I can't believe the way you belittle how good the Clippers are. I get it. You're trying to do the LeVar Ball thing and speak it into existence so they don't beat your Lakers. Because they're going to beat your Lakers and beat your Lakers in 6. 6.
In 6. Oh, okay. And you've got the Clippers winning the title.
7,
Clippers over Raptors, right?
Clippers winning it all. Clippers over the Raptors in 6 games. Yes.
Wilds, he called that the worst bracket he's seen in decades. Your thoughts?
So he's got Lakers over Bucks in 6. I think if I chose the Lakers over the Clippers, I would have had the Lakers over the Bucks. I had the Clippers over the Bucks, so I think the Western Conference is gonna win it all, unless I don't know. I really don't think Toronto would be able to beat the Lakers or the Clippers. I think could. I say that, but anything could happen in the bubble. I feel like the bubble is just kind of crazy that we could just see anything happen.
No, it's not. Look, earlier you made fun of me because I wasn't ready to call the Blazers, and I'd like to say I am still not ready to call it. Not ready to call it yet. Want to see one game to see how Nurkic
3 games in,
handles Anthony Davis.
3 games in, he'll call it.
You don't want to give away just like you're giving away everything. We got no reason for people to watch the show for the rest of the week, Nick. You got to hold your title to the end of the week. If LeBron makes it, this will be the hardest playoff. No, he's changed, Nick.
No,
remember you said you wanted
2016.
Kawhi, and then you changed it from last week.
I do. Listen, there's a
thought.
difference between what I want and what I believe will happen. So this is a big difference between me and Broussard. So Broussard's just going with what he wants to have happen. I'm trying to analyze this. I'm trying to actually break it down. And God forbid I say the Nuggets can beat the Clippers. They split in the regular season pre-bubble. And in the bubble, the Clippers were so much better through 3 quarters when both teams were playing starters. The Nuggets were up by 2. And then they benched everyone in the 4th quarter. So the idea that the Nuggets are just laughable, that they've got no chance. And so obviously I've got the Lakers over the Bucks in 6. I've said this all along. Beginning of the year, the pick was Lakers in 6 over the Bucks. Middle of the year, end of the year, I've had no reason to change it unless I'm going to let the bubble dissuade me, and I'm not going to let that happen, Broussard.
Yeah, that was definitely a little bit more surprising than the Colin Cowherd one. There was only one difference between my bracket and Colin Cowherd's bracket, and there was a couple ones. Let me know what you guys think about the Nuggets over the Clippers from what we've seen so far. So there's a little bit of hindsight here. Do you think the Nuggets could beat the Clippers? Do we even think the Nuggets and Clippers will be playing in round 2? There is a chance it could be Mavericks Jazz. But I don't know. I'm just saying. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Like I said, I will be live streaming my reactions to the draft lottery in a couple hours over on my main channel, so go check that out. It's going to be fun, definitely. So hope you guys enjoyed today's double upload. Drop a like if you guys did enjoy. Thank you all for watching. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys next video. Peace.